Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us today. We have a couple of people here in the studio I think you need to meet because it's the holiday season. And I don't know about you, but I plan on doing some binge eating. And then, of course, when the new year happens, I'm going to make a resolution and try and lose all that. And the name of the program, Doctor, is Slenderiiz. Dr.
Yes.
John Netterville and
Emily Carvallo.
Emily Carvallo. Now, Doctor, are you the creator of this program?
Oh, no, I just work with the program.
Okay, you work with the program, but you're a success story for
I
the
am.
program.
I'm still in my beginning journey stages. I was having thyroid issues, which a lot of women do. And in my age group, up
Which
there.
is what, 19 to 25, something like that?
Yeah, or late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
And I was having hormonal issues and thyroid issues and hadn't been able to lose weight in 2 or 3 years. Had started going to a homeopathic nutritionist, changed my diet, organic eating, all kinds of different things to accommodate that, and pretty much eating dirt. For 6-8 weeks at a time, and my nutritionist was wonderful, but she just said, just stay on it, just stay on it, and where other people would lose, I wouldn't. Well, then we found out through just genetically and different things with my thyroid, and low temperatures and stuff, that I just couldn't lose.
So some people are genetically predisposed to being
They
better.
have a hard time.
They have a hard time. And so what happened was I was pretty much beside myself. I just got this unrest. I'm like, I'm done just trying to diet, work out in the gym, and even though I'm not extremely heavy, I'm bigger than you think, I'm just tall. I just thought, I will do the pharmaceutical route. So I knew a doctor at my gym, and she was going to put me on Synthroid. And I just didn't want to be on pharmaceuticals. Not that I'm against them, doctors aren't against them. But a friend of mine, believe it or not, hours later called me from Mississippi and said, Emily, I have the answer. I said, listen, you're going to have to give it to me.
And the answer was Slenderiiz, is that what I'm hearing?
The answer was Slenderiiz. I said, you'll have to give it to me. So he drove up from Mississippi, brought me the drops, and
so it's
ironically,
a supplement, is that what it is?
It's actually a homeopathic. It's plant-based. It has 7 different plants, and Dr. Netterville can go into that. But it works just at the cellular level, and it helps with your metabolism.
So Dr. John Netterville, I know they call you Dr. J.
Yeah.
I know you're a good ball player too, to have that name. Dr. J, what makes this different from all the other? I get a lot of people who come through this show talking about weight loss programs.
Before I get to that, let me tell you how I got involved with the thing. Here I was, I'm 62 years old, I'd been doing medicine for 35 years, and it was like, okay, what comes next? And along came a company, then somebody brings me another weight loss program. Well, you can imagine somebody bringing an MD a weight loss program. It's kind of like, I don't want to hear this. And so they bring me another one, and it's like, okay, guys, I've got the reason. And what I had the same excuse I would always use when they would say, well, we want you to look at this. I'd say, well, I don't listen to anecdotal data. And they said, huh? And I said, well, you can tell me Mary lost this, and Jack lost this, and Bill
that's
lost
all
that.
anecdotal stuff. You need hard data. You're a scientist.
That's right. And then my response is, and some people's cancers go away by themselves, and you can't explain that either.
Right.
I want real medical data, and nobody ever had real medical data, so I didn't have to look at their programs.
Right.
Well, this company had real medical data. They had a placebo-controlled, double-blind study that showed that women lose on average of 1/2 pound a day.
Wow, is that even healthy?
1/2 pound a day. And men lose on average 2/3 of a pound a day.
Holy mackerel.
That's a day, folks. And I thought, whoa, well, okay, I'll get to looking at this. And I started looking at it, and I got involved with the company, and I've been working with them now for 18 months. And I can tell you, in my small circle, I've got at least 6 people who have lost over 100 pounds.
Dr. J, we've got to run off to the local weather right now. Maybe on the other side of this break, you can show me how that works.
Sure.
And maybe we could talk about some of the products that you got.
Okay.
And we'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm. westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. John Netterville and Emily Carvallo. And the program is called what again?
Slenderiiz.
Slenderiiz. Now, we talked about beforehand that you had lost some awesome weight in a very short period of time.
Yes, sir.
And You going to tell me how all that works?
Yeah, it works. You know, when they, as I mentioned to you, people bringing me another weight loss program, I had to have real data.
Yeah.
And when we had the medical program, I saw the data that people really lost weight, and I wanted to investigate, how does this really work? Well, it really works in 3 different ways. First way, there are lots of programs out there that will decrease your appetite.
Sure.
I experienced it more as a decrease in my cravings rather than a decrease in appetite. And I'm a carb addict. Boy, if you show me a bagel or a biscuit or a pasta, I'm there, folks. But in this case, it relieved that cravings. The second thing it does is it actually increases your metabolism. When you, over time, decrease your calories, your body senses that decrease in calories and drops your metabolic rate to match what you're eating. You hear about people saying, I lost 10 pounds and then I couldn't lose anymore. It's because the body says, oh, no, you don't. I'm going to preserve myself. This stuff actually causes that metabolic rate to go up. And the difference here is the higher that gap, the faster the weight comes off. The third thing this does that I had never heard before was it removes toxins. Our bodies were evolved over time to excrete all the natural toxins that are in our normal environment. If I get too much salt, I can sweat it out. If I get too much nitrogen, I can void it out. If I get a bee sting, I can metabolize it. But if I get too much lead, I'm stuck with it. If I get too much mercury, it stays in my system. And what the body does with it is, since it can't get rid of it, it puts all those toxins in the fat that's right around our middle. Pardon my drawing, I'm not an artist. But it puts all these toxins...
I don't know, that profile looks a little familiar.
Puts all these toxins right here in this visceral fat in order to keep it away from our organs where it's doing damage. Well, what this stuff does as it goes through your system, it creates essentially a giant sucking sound as it's sucking these toxins out of your tissues and carrying them out of the body so that you don't get the rebound. How in the world does it do that? Well, this chemical has got a matrix, kind of like a beehive, and all these have little negative charges in them, and the toxins all have positive charges. And you know, like magnets, positives go to negatives, so in it goes, in it goes, in it goes, and it's an irreversible binding. And where before you were collecting that lead and you were keeping it the rest of your life, now you're literally eliminating it from the body.
And shrinking those fat cells in the process.
And in the process, you know, the body, it causes the release of this visceral fat first. And so when you release the visceral fat, what's coming out with it? The toxins are coming out with it. You're poisoning yourself.
So not only are you shrinking the fat cells, you're getting rid of the bad stuff that you've accumulated that you can't metabolize.
That's right.
So it helps it metabolize.
And it keeps you from rebounding as much.
And what are we talking about, Emily? Are these drops or
They are. They're homeopathic drops that you take, and they're over there on the table. You take the 2 dropperfuls. One has B12 in it, which helps with the metabolic rate, and the other one is called Slender. And you take them both.
Do you just take it orally? Do you put it in a drink?
Underneath your tongue.
Underneath your tongue. And
10 seconds, 10 minutes before you eat, 3 times a day. And you take the Restorix at night, which has like a cellulite and charcoal in it that actually absorbs the toxins and flushes them out, so they work synergistically together.
In the 10 seconds we have left, you've had some success. May I ask how much weight you've lost?
Yes, I've lost an inch off my hips, which for girls, excuse me, 14.5 pounds and a little right around 4.5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that healthy, Doc?
Well, you know, with getting rid of the toxins, it is. And here I am at 62 years old wearing pants that are smaller than I wore in high school.
I'm just the opposite. We're so out of time, it's not funny, but if we wanted to learn more about this, where could we go?
Slenderiiz.com / my name, Emily Carvallo, Carvallo.
Slenderiiz.com. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and you're welcome back anytime. And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.